Welcome to the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast, your go-to place for approachable conversations around sacred sexuality and conscious relationships. I'm your host, Janine McKinnon, certified trauma-informed sex, love, and relationship coach who's on a mission to support 1 million women and couples to experience deeper connection and more expansive pleasure inside and outside the bedroom. This is the space to go deep, to dive below surface level relationships and mess sex and explore the sacredness that sexuality and conscious relationships have to offer. Because deep connection, spiritual sexuality, full body orgasms, and transmuted sexual energy are available to everyone. And I'm here to serve the collective, to provide the knowledge, wisdom, and tools to access them. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful we're able to connect in this way, and I can't wait to dig into the contents of this episode with you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to another Tuesday transmission episode inside the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast. And today's episode is a little bit different. It is a little bit more off the cuff. I have not put in the outline and preparation that I usually do, and I am just feeling the need to share on this particular topic because it is very real with what I am experiencing right now, and that is all around rest, around listening to our body's signals and our body's wisdom, that we are worthy of rest, that we do not need to earn rest, and how we can best support ourselves through sacred sexuality to nourish ourselves on that deep, deep level so we can get back to our thriving selves once more. And a little bit of backstory, I guess, for what is bringing me to talk about this right now is this last week has been like quite the portal that I have been going through, and I'd gone back and forth on how much I wanted to share publicly in real time as someone who used to be a content creator with a half decent platform all around motherhood when I was raising my 2 kids under 2 years old, and I was very much participating in that exhausted mom narrative. Now, I had been participating in that as someone who was just trying to share my truth and normalize what I was going through. And it had the best of intentions, and I had some really great connections through that. Although now, looking back, I feel like I participated in this weird Instagram downward spiral that many moms were in, and a lot of this was throughout COVID, so that definitely played its role. But it was just about how exhausting motherhood is, how hard it is. And for me now, I want to be listening to mothers and connecting with mothers who see the magic in motherhood. Sure, it's hard. Sure, it's tiring. And it's so wonderful. It's amazing that I get to experience family life with my kids and my husband, that I get to homeschool them, which I thoroughly enjoy learning alongside of them and being able to spend time with my kids. And so that's the kind of content and mothers that I want to surround myself with. And when we focus so much on the struggles and surround ourselves with everyone else focusing on the struggles, it just kind of, I can't think of the right word, it perpetuates it. And it's that ruminating and staying stuck in it, where for me now, I'm absolutely not bypassing any of that. There are struggles, there are challenges, there are hard things. And we should give it that time to surface and to be felt when needed, and then alchemize and move forward. Choose to support ourselves, to make another choice, to support ourselves in a deeper way so we're not hit so hard with things. And just continue to grow and evolve while staying anchored in the magic of family life, of life itself. And so as I went through all of that, I was unsure of, again, how much I wanted to share struggles in real time. But I think that I am at the point now that I can kind of reframe it and not necessarily be so focused on that struggle side. And so I'll share a little bit about the medical issues that I have been going through. And it is around cervical health and HPV and abnormal cells. I have had abnormal PAPs pop up on and off throughout my regular PAP screenings throughout most of my sexually active years. They would pop up, it would be monitored, and it wouldn't show up for the next one. Although our healthcare, especially in BC, in Canada, is fucking terrible. It really, really is. I went without a doctor for many, many years. I am lucky enough to have one now, but I don't trust the healthcare system. I don't trust modern medicine. I do think it has a time and a place for emergencies. And yes, I'm still doing screenings and things like that, but I lean more into ancient wisdom. I lean into our body's ability to repair and heal itself. And so with these on and off abnormal cells, about 2 years ago, it popped up again. And unfortunately, I think I was just kind of going through finishing up school. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just had a lot going on and I didn't focus as much on it as I should have. I didn't prioritize it as much. And I just kind of pushed it to the side and didn't give it the attention it deserved. And so within the last 6 months, I have been committing to myself and to my health with actually dealing with this. And so I had been taking supplements. I went for another PAP, again, abnormal cells. Went through another 4 or 6-ish months, and again, some more abnormal cells. So I went through and took the next step for a pulcoscopy to get a biopsy done to see what level it is. And so I have a SIN2 level of abnormal cells, and I was being pushed into a LEAP procedure. I'm not sure if that P stands for procedure or not, so perhaps I'm kind of saying procedure twice as I say that. And as I was sitting in the hospital in the gown to get my LEAP procedure done, I all of a sudden was overwhelmed with my body and my intuition telling me, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. And so I got dressed. I told the front desk that I can't do this right now, and I left. So that was on Thursday. There was a lot of emotion there, and I will add that I am not saying an absolute no to the LEAP procedure ever. It is just that I know at that time that that was a decision rooted in fear and not one that was informed. And I stand by making informed choices that are rooted in my body and in my knowing and what's right for me and my family. And that wasn't where I was at that time. So I was dealing with all of that last week. It was quite a bit. And I am doubling down on research. Again, I have always been a holistic health person. I was using natural beauty products and herbs and different so-called alternatives for healing for the last 15, 20 years. So this is not something new to me. And I'm feeling called, as this is a way to devote myself even further into the work I do for supporting women to tap into their body's wisdom and knowledge and being able to heal ourselves through our connection with the earth, the connection with ourselves, and with the devotion we have for ourselves. And so I am doubling down on many, many different holistic things. I'm still narrowing down exactly what my health plan is, so I can perhaps update all of you with that, but it is very nutritionally focused. Yes, I'm taking supplements and yam creams and some different things as well. And I share this not to say that this is the right path for you, not to share, don't do what your doctors tell you. I share this, and I'll say I'm not sharing this to get any feedback from anyone on whether what I'm doing is right or wrong. I'll also add that in too, because when I have shared things like this over the last couple of years, I've had people replying in fear, writing their thoughts on why this is the wrong thing to do and why we should go through with the pulcoscopies and then the LEAP procedures, which I personally believe are band-aids, not treating the root cause. And often things pop up again. Sometimes they don't, but often they do. And so I just wanted to add that. And the reason why I'm sharing this is to, one, just speak about these things, these women's health things that are very, very important, and also share to help perhaps inspire you to have the courage to make the right decisions for you. Because doctors and experts and family members can mean their best in trying to push you in particular directions, because they are making those decisions and advice based on their lived experience and the knowledge that they have been taught. And it doesn't always apply to you. And so, yes, if you respect and value these people's opinions, yes, listen to them. And ultimately come back to yourself. What is right for you? Do you feel fully informed in this decision? What do you need to be informed in this decision? And make the steps that feel aligned. So on top of that, that's not quite exactly what I had come on to talk about. It is really about the rest side of things. So moving through all of that last week was a lot, leading up to the procedure and then moving through with my decision to leave and go other holistic health routes. And then over this past weekend, I had 2 full-day business events. I had Sukarama and Suk representing our family business, which was so much fun, bringing the kids there all day long. It's a small business trade show in our small town in Suk, and it was really nice being able to represent New Life Stoneworks, our family countertop business that my husband primarily works in. And then on Sunday, I had the honor of presenting a Sacred Sensuality to Vancouver Island Soul Summit, to a incredible group of 80-ish women and men. And it was such a beautiful session and day, and I poured my all into it leading up to this weekend. On top of all of these other things, there was a lot I had to do to prepare for each of these events, and I ended up staying at Soul Summit longer than I had planned on. So with all of this stuff going on, I am understandably feeling quite depleted. And I have other responsibilities as a homeschool mom, as a wife, as a business owner. We are in module 5 of my Ignite group program right now. So that is coming to a close within the next couple of weeks. And there are calls and things to record and do for that, on top of the podcast, on top of all these other things. And so that's what pushes me to chat about the need for rest, to listen to your body when you are feeling depleted. And that's the beauty of sacred sexuality, of having a devotion to yourself, with pleasure practices, with meditation, breath work, like everything that's inside Unapologetic Practices collection, is that you build this beautiful relationship with your body and your inner knowing. So you can feel the different sensations in your body. You can feel when something's off. You can feel if something is a fuck no. And I think I was so overloaded with these different events coming up that I didn't necessarily notice the subtle nudges of the sleep isn't right for me. Even though I did make space, I was trying to make space to meditate and connect, but I think there was just a lot clouding it. But thankfully, when I was there coming head to head with the procedure, I was able to really hear that body's wisdom. So we have these beautiful nudges, and we get to build this relationship with them. And I think even when we're in the early stages, like we all know, even when we are feeling totally disconnected, thinking that we are connected, because I don't think we really know how disconnected we are until we're out the other side looking back. But I think no matter where we are on our journey, we understand what being exhausted feels like. We understand what being tired feels like. And that's why it's so common for like, oh, so run down, I need to have another coffee and keep doing what I need to do, right? And no, please don't take that approach over and over again. I do think there is a time and a place for that because we do have responsibilities and things to do. And when we repeatedly do that, we are ignoring our body. Our body is telling us we're tired. It's telling us we need rest. We need nourishment. We need to take things off our plate. So I really encourage you to listen to these signals and nudges your body is giving you. Take the time to rest when you need it. When you are feeling tired and run down, the first thing I think anyone should do, and this is what I always do, is what can I take off my plate? Look at what needs to be done and look at what ball you can drop. Can you take something off your plate when it comes to work? Can you cancel some sort of calls? Can you get someone else to drive the kids somewhere? Can you do a frozen dinner or a snack night dinner? What can you take off your plate? And take as much off your plate as you can. And double down on caring for yourself. Unfortunately, and it just perplexes me, and it has for quite a long time, when people are feeling run down for some reason, they let their nutrition and self-care slip to the wayside. And it just boggles my mind because when you're feeling run down, that's when you need your self-care even more. That's when you need your nutrition even more. So please, if you are feeling run down in any sort of way, depleted or just tired, please use that as a signal to double down on you. Spend extra care and attention on how you are fueling and nourishing your body. Give yourself extra time to rest and do things of enjoyment, and be aware of how you are numbing yourself out, because scrolling on your phone because you're too tired to do anything is not nourishing you. It is numbing you out, and you need nourishment. Simply listening to music and coloring for a bit is so much more nourishing than just scrolling and having the emotional roller coaster that can come through scrolling on our phones. And so I will also, there's a couple things I wanted to add, and I'll also just mention I'm so sorry for background noise. Like, as I mentioned, I'm tired. Things are crazy right now. I've got the full family in the household. It's almost dinner, but I'm recording this because I'm not recording it later tonight. I need to get this done so I can rest and devote to myself tonight. And so sometimes we need to show up imperfectly so we can still manage our responsibilities and treat our body, nourish our body. So the few other things I wanted to add is 1, you are worthy and deserving of rest just as you are. Doesn't matter how busy other people are in your household or in your community. If your body's telling you you're tired, listen to it. Be okay to lie on the couch reading while everyone has other things going on. That's okay. You deserve it. And so I will also add just a few things that I particularly find really helpful when I am feeling quite depleted, and perhaps you will too. And so 1, instead of trying to cram as much things as you can into the day, if there's some extra space, if someone is running late, if you're moving from one thing to the next, take time to pause. So for example, I had to go and pick up my kids, meet my mom and pick up the kids today. And so they were running behind, and I could have easily got some more work or things done and then met up with them later. But instead I showed up when I planned to show up, and I just sat in the car and meditated for a bit. I connected with universal light and allowed it to shine through my body, nourishing me, healing and cleansing my cervix. I was able to just give that 5 minutes to me again, instead of scrolling, instead of filling my space with something else. So I encourage you to take that time to pause and nourish yourself. And I have a wonderful, one of my favorite pleasure practices inside Unapologetic Practices collection is resourcing in goodness. This is a beautiful one if you're on your bleed, which I forgot to mention also came on Sunday when I was presenting at Soul Summit. So that is on top of all of this as well. And so that particular pleasure practice is just taking the time to nourish yourself from very simple resources. Perhaps it's the love of your heart space, allowing that to radiate through your body, nourishing you from the inside out. Perhaps it's just mindfully caressing your hair and your face and your neck, allowing that pleasure, that touch, that loving devotion to nourish you. Taking time to breathe, connecting with universal energy, allowing that warmth, that love, and that light to nourish deep down into your bones, your cells, and your blood. Like these are nourishing acts of self-care. And so yes, you can go to Unapologetic Practices, and there's a bunch of recordings like this available for you. And this is something anyone can tap into. If one of those spoke to you, just give yourself the space and the slowness to move through that, to nourish yourself in a deep way. It is all about these small, simple acts of devotion and love we have for ourselves. And every small thing we do really adds up. Choosing to leave the phone down, not rely on that as a crutch to fill our time, and lean into things that are nourishing. Again, it can be coloring and listening to music. It can be creating. It can be meditating. It can be some of those things with nourishing yourself, a hand massage, a face massage, a warm bath, but being present with it, bringing intention of allowing these things to nourish yourself from the inside out. That's how you replenish yourself. That's how you resource. Instead of going on and pushing and doing, and continuing to deplete yourself and be short-tempered and barely keeping your head above water. Like, no, that's not the vibe. We're not doing that. We're supporting ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to feel depleted, and we're setting ourselves up for success by caring for ourselves in the way we truly deserve. So I think I will leave it on that note. I hope you enjoyed this more off-the-cuff version of this Tuesday Transmission podcast episode. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, or if you want to shoot me a message on Instagram at Janine.McKinnon, I would love to connect. Also, if you are a holistic spiritual girly who has gone through cervical health issues or know someone who has and has had some success with it with any particular modality, please reach out to me. I want to collect as much information as I can. Again, make that informed decision. And I am open to exploring all options because I know our body is wise and can heal itself. So again, thank you. If you are not already subscribed or following the podcast, please go ahead and do that so you receive a new podcast episode every single Tuesday, with sometimes bonus episodes on Thursdays. If you love coming back week after week to hear more of these transmissions, please leave a rating or review. It really does make a big impact on this podcast reaching more women who desire this inspiration, not necessarily should, I don't love that word, but who desire these types of messages, this type of inspiration, this type of knowledge and connection. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I so value being here week after week and connecting with me. I will see you next week, where I intend to go into holistic pleasure tools, which is what has been alive inside Module 5 of Ignite. And why not bring it here? Why not share a little bit more of the holistic pleasure tools, even deeper than the breath sound and movement that I touch on so regularly? So stay tuned for that, and sending you off with so much love. Thank you for joining us inside the Unapologetic with Janine McKinnon podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you feel called, I would so appreciate it if you left us a review to help us reach more women and couples so they can experience deeper connection and more expansive pleasure inside and outside the bedroom too. Until next time, embrace your desire and experience your magic.